We got a YCS coming up, and your side decks need to be ready. What's going on, you guys? Slim here to bring you guys, in your guys' opinion, and a little bit of my opinion, all of our opinions, because that's how we do these type of videos, the best side deck cards going into YCS Pasadena, which is our YCS coming up this weekend. Amazing that you guys contributed so much. I wanted to take a little more of a personal approach working with you guys on this video. Something that I like to do that I think that sets some of these videos apart from a lot of videos is that I like to take my subscribers' feedback. I like to share it with the other subscribers who maybe didn't participate, or those of you that did, build upon that. And you guys were amazing talking about what we feel are the best side deck cards going into YCS Pasadena. Your side deck is one of your most important tools in the game. You're going to play more games sided than you will without your side deck. I've said it a million times here on the channel, and you're going to continue to hear it for the lifespan of this channel, the lifespan of the game. It's just a known fact, especially in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, it's super important. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload videos. And yeah, so YCS Pasadena going on. We already know the format. It's pretty much the same format. You've been following the regionals. You've been following the the YCS, the UDS, all those things. You've been paying attention to a lot of content here on other content creators' channels. You pretty much know what's going on. But this is all for you guys. This is your guys' input as well as some of mine with what we feel are some of the best side deck cards. There's not going to be a top 5, not going to be a top 10, not going to be any of that. This is just going to be everything. This is going to be everything you guys contributed along with some of my own opinions on this stuff, and we'll get into it. First and foremost, though, we got to give an honorable mention to the one guy that had to say shape snatch for OTK. You couldn't be more right. So you get a knuckle bump for that. It's definitely a shape snatch for OTK. But on to the actual side deck cards. We already know Artifact Lancia. I mean, that's like literally, I think every side deck should have that. The Orcus Mirror needs it. Every deck needs it. Orcus is one of the most prevalent decks, one of the most represented decks. You just need it. There's no way around it. You just need it. It has applications against other matches. You can use it against Thunder, especially the combo Thunder deck. You can use it against Invoked if that comes up. You can just use it on the Invocation. You can use it on Dinos when they already search the pill. You can drop it so they can't even summon the ultimate Conductor. There's so many applications I really shouldn't have to tell you guys, but Lancia, Evenly Matched, is another card that you guys mentioned. It's a card that it finds itself into the format, pretty much every format. It sees some popularity, then it declines in popularity, then it comes back. It kind of just does this revolving door thing, and it just keeps going and going. And yeah, I think Evenly Matched is actually amazing. If your deck can forego the battle phase, which a lot of decks probably can, because you can still OTK, you can still set up an unbreakable board. You just pretty much can just wipe out your opponent's whole board. They lose a bunch of resources, especially if you baited their negate or negates out, and then you evenly them. It's so hard for them to play, and it baits a negate by itself, so it's also just an amazing card. And I think a lot of trap decks are going to take advantage of that. Altergeist is definitely one of them that I've seen main deck this card to a lot of success, and it's going to continue to do that going forward. We also have Droll and Lockbird. So Droll and Lockbird, I go back and forth, especially this format, because I heard so many things. I've talked to a lot of players, and they say, yeah, Droll's good. You can use it against the combo deck. You can use it against the Endymion deck. You can use it against pretty much any deck that searches or likes to draw a lot. And I do agree to an extent. Is it worth main decking? I don't think so. Could it be something you could side deck potentially? I feel that there are better options. I know a lot of people feel like your side deck, you only have 15 slots. It's really hard to, find wiggle room for those cards. But Droll and Lockbird is something that I think you guys should test out. If you guys are testing Droll, let me know down below and let me know what your results have been. For myself, I did put it in a couple side decks. I did side it in, and it was decent when I did draw it, and I could see where it does have potential. I don't know if it's one of the standalone best side deck cards, but it's definitely something you guys should consider. Since you guys mentioned it, I really do like it. Back row removal, we mentioned Evenly Matched, but Evenly Matched is in a class of its own because it also deals with the board of monsters and other stuff. But of course, you have your Twin Twisters, your Cosmic Cyclones, your Hate Trunades, your any form of removal for back row. You guys already know. And once we get the new whatever that spell card is, it's basically like Harpy's Feather Duster, Raigeki in one. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be one of the main staple cards. But I feel that those cards are pretty good. Especially if you're playing against a lot of back row decks. The most generic ones are Twin Twister and Cosmic Cyclone. You guys already know this. Twin Twister just is amazing, taking out 2 cards, putting cards in the graveyard. If you're using it with dangers, it's just so free and insane. Other things is that you can, use Cosmic Cyclone. What I like about Cyclone, it's a 1-for-1 trade. It banishes the problem. It doesn't come back. It's amazing. Baits out Crescendo like it's nobody's business. Just such a good card in general. Being able to banish the Babel is huge. Being able to banish, just key cards against True Draco so they don't trigger is amazing. And you guys should definitely be paying attention to Draco. Shout out to Slops. You already know every time I mention Draco, it's for you. Yeah, you got to find a way around their back row. Floodgates are still a pain in the ass. You need to be able to play around those things, so I feel that that's super important. Other things you guys mentioned, Let's see. They also threw in Heavy Storm Duster. That's if you're playing basically a trap deck. I've only seen that card in trap decks, but it's something to remember. It's fine. Other cards. One card that I personally really like and was something I actually was siding at my last locals I played was Dark Ruler No More. I've seen a lot of side decks talking about Dark Ruler No More. So good against Pendulum decks. So good against the Guard Dragon Wombo combo Thunder deck because the monster effects can't negate it, so it's really, really strong. You can blanket their board and then, you know, try to break their board. Same thing with Pure Thunder. Being a Thunder Dragon player, I can't lie. If you Dark Ruler my board and you clear it, it sucks. I can't even protect my guys. So yeah, super, actually super underrated card. I think that now that it's starting to see a little more play, we'll definitely see the card a lot more in the format. Other things you guys talked about, Super Poly, I mean, what can I say? I think it's one of the most broken spell cards in the game. You can't respond to it. Almost every deck is playing Super Poly. Like, there are so many decks that are already main decking it that didn't even used to main deck it. I've seen builds of Salamangreat main deck it. I've seen True Draco main it. Like, it's insane. Yeah, there are versions of True Draco that play an extra deck, don't play the Monarchs Erupt build, play an extra deck, plays a bunch of Super Poly targets, and it's just insane. So definitely something that, you know, I'm pretty sure almost every person that's watching this channel, if they have access to Super Poly, which you should because of Dual Devastator, there's no reason why you shouldn't be having it somewhere in your side deck or main deck or anywhere because the card is broken. For some reason it's still at 3, so that's like mind-boggling. But other things you guys mentioned that I really like, some little kind of like iffy tech cards are, of course, Prohibition. This was a card a lot of people talked about, being able to call cards like Nibiru, being able to call cards that could be problematic for your deck. And I do agree to an extent, but at the same time, I don't think they're that strong. There was a time that I did try that card, and it was cheesy. I'm going to be honest. It was cheesy, and it worked a couple times. And that's the thing, is it worked a couple times, but it didn't work all the time. And when it comes to your side deck, you guys, it's so valuable. I think that you want cards that are going to last you the longevity of the 9 or 11 rounds or whatever you're playing in a YCS, that you just really need to have cards that, you know, have multiple applications and are something that you're going to use in almost every matchup you play and are just going to be good for, again, the longevity of the tournament. Backer removal, it's not a form of removal, but it's a way for you to witness, of course, Red Reboot. I mean, it goes in the same class as Twin Twister. The best back row cards that deal with this stuff right now is Twin Twister, Red Reboot, and of course your Cosmic Cyclones, and I mean other stuff that you guys mentioned that I really liked was, and this has been brought up by a lot of people, is Chaos Hunter. So Chaos Hunter is nice. Like, it's really nice. Your opponent to specials, you know, discard, summon it. It's, I mean, it literally just says no to so many cards in the Orcus deck. Not being able to use Call by the Grave also is insane. Not being able to DD Crow is insane. You know, Crow is on this list too. I mean, did we not just make a video about DD Crow? Yeah, you guys already know. I don't have to tell you guys. DD Crow is the homie. But yeah, Chaos Hunter is nice. It's also, being a 2500 body is huge. It doesn't sound that great by a lot of people's standards, but yeah, it's definitely one of the best, I think, options. That one of the techie cards we've seen in a lot of side decks. Jesse Cotton talked about it a lot, and a lot of good players are starting to pick up on this card. And it's a card that, again, goes in and out of formats. You saw it during, I think, the Trickstar format, when it was not only a problem for them to get over it by attack points, but also the fact that they couldn't reincarnation. That was huge. So very, very strong, and I think a card we'll definitely see this weekend at YCS Pasadena. Other things is, when you look at the main meta, of course, you have your Orcus, your Thunders, your Strikers, and your Salamangreats as like the main you know, main runners, main like best decks of the format. And a lot of these cards I mentioned can be used against all these decks. Other things that you guys know, of course, is if you want to play Cyber Dragons in the side deck, Cyber Dragons with Mega Fleet or Chimera Tech to take care of Orcus, System Down to take care of Orcus. Things against Strikers, same thing. You could honestly just use Cyber Dragon, contact away the link. Cards like Mind Control, I've even gone as far to main deck Mind Control in certain decks. I mean, the card is just one of my favorite spell cards in the deck. You guys should know this. If you look at a lot of these side decks, they pretty much give you the ideas you need. Hand traps are not really something I personally put in the side deck. I never really side things like Ash or Ogre, any of that stuff in the side deck, but if you guys want to, you can. It's completely up to you. It's just up to you based on your deck what you actually want to side. I think that you have to remember, with 15 spots, you also have to come down to the realization, okay, can I afford to play 3 copies of this card? Is it that impactful? Or can I get away with 2 copies to be able to leave a little more room for something else? And that's where I think the difference is with side decking. I think it's so important to be able to find all those spots that you need with not oversiding. You want to have just the right amount of cards for every matchup. And I think a lot of these cards that we talked about are super impactful, especially going into this YCS, because again, we know this format. This format has been defined. There's no like earth-shattering decks that come out of nowhere. I know people are talking about the Tribute Stun deck. cards that give in impermanence, cards that, you know, can just negate that deck. Literally just, you know, you can just negate the, you know, blanket the board with like Dark Ruler No More, or with impermanence on any of the Vanities guys, or the ones that say you can't special summon and just try to crack the board, you know, things like that work. We've covered all our back row decks, we've covered a lot of other decks, and I feel that our main thing going forward is just realizing that we understand the format, we know what to play. And people are saying this is going to be a boring YCS. I don't think so. I think that you could be surprised what could win. What I'd like to know in the comments below is, what deck do you think is going to win YCS Pasadena? We'll of course do a recap and whatnot. Unfortunately, for those of you that are wondering, I will not be in attendance. I know, crazy. I live in Cali. You know, I'm not able to make it due to work. I'm thinking of coming through Friday though. I am off from work Friday, coming through, see some of you guys. But yeah, unfortunately, I cannot be in attendance. I thought that I could be, but you know, I got priorities, adulting, unfortunately. But you know, I'll definitely be there in spirit. And if, you know, depending on what time the event ends, I might come back Sunday to do some deck profiles and stuff like that. But if not, you know, we'll definitely still be keeping up with it at work, and also keeping up with it in general, and doing a recap when the event comes to an end. But yeah, shout out to everyone that's going to YCS Pasadena. Best of luck to you guys. I'll be there in spirit. Shout out to all my subscribers. You guys are amazing for contributing to this video. And if you guys did like this video, you know, give it a like, communicate that to me. If you guys want to participate in more of these, I'll definitely have more of these going forward. I love your guys' opinion. I love that with your guys' opinion, a bunch of my input, we can just teach everybody something. Everyone learns from everybody, and I think that's the main thing, is that we can just help each other that way. And that's how we just get better. Because I'll tell you one thing, you guys make me a better player, and I hope in some sense, some of my advice makes you a little bit of a better player. So yeah, that's all I got to say, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know again if you're going to YCS Pasadena, what deck you think is going to win, and we'll go from there. But yeah, super excited to see what happens at this event in Cali. Super excited to see the tech cards and side deck cards that you guys come up with, and I can't wait to see what ends up winning. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.